So good day everyone. I'm Jasper Gentallan, enrolled in SOCIO 101, respectively in the advisory of Sir Ardinis, and today I'll be talking about some examples of global city. But before that, I want to recap a little bit about the question: what is a global city? So global cities are places which take advantage of globalization. So these places have taken the best out of globalization. They have benefited a lot on globalization because they have cultivated what they can get from globalization, and they are the successful real winners of globalization. So this terminology, global city, was first coined presumably by Saskia Sassen in the reference of his work The Global City, London, New York, and Tokyo in 1991. So that was global city. Global cities are the real winners of globalization. So let's focus closely on what are some examples of global city. So I'll be presenting two institutes that has analyzed data from time to time in order to include the rankings and categories of these global cities. So the first institute is the GCI, or the Global City Index. So they assess these cities based upon 5 dimensions. First is the business, the place, business activities, human capital, information exchange, the cultural experience, and the political activities and engagement of that place. And these factors are the key determinants of a city's ability to attract talented human capital, generate economic growth, increase competitiveness, and ensure stability and security not only in the present but also in the long run, which is very important. So in the next slide, we will see the top 30 cities in the Global City Index. A major noticeable shift of the top rankings, I'm referring to the top 5 rankings in the Global City Index, is the shift of Beijing outbeating Hong Kong from its long-held top 5 position, which could prove to be a sign that there would be more further changes to come, especially today that we are affected in the pandemic of COVID-19, and this would shaken up the top 5 if not they are secure if they wouldn't secure their economic growth. So that would upset or change or have major shift in the top rankings. But we will see after 2021 classification or rankings will be posted. So today will be I'll be giving you only from 2015 to 2020 rankings or history of rankings. So while Beijing's strong economic growth and human capital investment paid off, the political chaos in Hong Kong led to dampen their performance. So what made Hong Kong lose the 5th position in the rankings was their political chaos, and so Beijing jumped high from the 9th place from 2015 to 2019 into the 5th position in 2020 because of their strong economic growth and human capital investment. So let's title this discussion 4 out of 5 stay steady at the top. So I'm referring this to New York City, London, Paris, and Tokyo, which are the most leading global cities in history. So as you can see, in 2015 to 2020, the most leading cities are New York, London, Paris, Tokyo. So the most leading or the highest scorer in the ranking is New York City. It has widened its lead over other cities on the index, receiving its highest score in human capital. So this is due to their strong performance in the number of international schools. So they have many infrastructure that promote international schools, which lead to a more number of international student population and the new medical university metric. So these factors led to a strong performance in in the category of human capital, which made them the leading cities in the global in the ranking of global cities. So this is it. In the second place, we have London. Has had a failing score in the index since 2017. So in 2016, they had gained the number one position, but lost this position in 2017 because of a political issue of the drop off of economic activity, also predicted after the Brexit vote. So they had faced an economic activity drop off, but still they have maintained the position of the second position in the ranking. They still have become stable from 2017 to 2020, having the second position. Then the next in line is Paris. Paris has a consistent performance in information exchange, in which it leads the ranking. So these metrics will be discussed more in the next slide. So cultural experience, political engagement, that ensured the city's solid hold on the number 3 position this year. So from 2015 to 2020, Paris held the third position of the ranking. So it's a long run third position, and they had maintained this because of their lead ranking in the information exchange and good performance on their cultural experience and political activities and engagement. The next or the fourth in position to this ranking is Tokyo. So Tokyo continued its slow but steady improvement on the index. So that's very important here. Slow but steady. Demonstrating strong year-on-year performance in the business activity dimension. It's very understandable, because Tokyo is the busiest street in the world. They have many businesses held in streets, so it's very understandable that they demonstrate a strong year-on-year performance on the business activity dimension. But the aftermath of the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's exit from the government remains to be seen, because it might cause a change in their status on this political issue. So it remains to be seen in Tokyo, as it may affect their ranking in the global cities index. And lastly, in the top 5, the new in position Beijing, which has higher scores across most metrics, and it ranks second in business activity dimension, particularly thanks to the number 2 spot on the new unicorn companies metric. So they have good active business activities, which gave them the upper hand on most of the metrics. Investment in education. So this is very important. Investment in education is very important, because you're like upgrading your people in the place, like let's say in the New York City. So they have good education because they want to upgrade their people to be capable to help in their economic growth. So investing in education is very important. And in Beijing's city rising status as a cultural center, so cultural experience has been rising topic in Beijing, also led to a large jump which also led to a large jump in human capital dimension. So that reflects how Beijing, from the ninth position, jumped over to the fifth position and became a part of the top rankings of the global cities. So, in a more closer look of the dimensions, in the business activity by metric, we have Fortune 500 Beijing, top global services firms, you can find it in London. Capital markets, you can find it in New York. Air freight, it's very common in Hong Kong. There are many air transactions there in Hong Kong. Sea freight, we could find it in Shanghai. So sea activities is very popular in Shanghai. ICCA conferences in Paris. Unicorn companies in San Francisco. Also, there are San Francisco has great big headquarters of big companies there, such as Google, Facebook, also Amazon. They base there in San Francisco, specifically in Silicon Valley. In the dimension of human capital, biometric, we have foreign-born population in New York, so they have a high foreign-born population there. Since New York is a bowl of multinational individuals. Top universities you can find there in Boston. Population with tertiary degree, Tokyo. So this means that in Tokyo, at least their population has a tertiary degree. International student population, we can find it in Sydney. So we can also this is very what do you call obvious, because we can find many advertisement about going to Sydney for international universities. So this is common for them to have a high percentage in the international student population. Then number of international schools, we can find them in Hong Kong. Medical universities in London. In the dimension of information exchange, biometric, access to TV news, we have Munich, Düsseldorf, Frankfurt, Berlin. News agency bureaus, we can find it in London, New York. Broadband subscribers, we have in Geneva and Zurich. Freedom of expression, we can find it in Oslo. A high percentage in online presence, Singapore. So it's very common. If you have applications such as Bigo, Snapchat, also I don't know if Umigo, but Singapore's presence, online presence, is very popular. Also in Facebook, Singaporeans are very active in online presence. Then cultural experience in biometric, we have museums, Moscow. So it's very Moscow is very popular regarding with museums. Vienna, visual and performing arts. Vienna, it's very popular. If you want to go to a place that's very popular with visual and performing arts, you should go to Vienna. Sporting events, Los Angeles, LA. International travelers, London. Culinary offerings, Paris. So Paris is very popular also in culinary. Sister cities, St. Petersburg. By dimension of political engagement in metrics, we have embassies and consulates, Brussels, think tanks, Washington DC, international organizations. We have there in Geneva. There are many international organizations that based there in Geneva. Political conference, many in Brussels. Local institutions with global reach, Paris. So Paris is very influential, of course. So that would be all in the Global City Index, and those are examples, great examples of global cities by ranking of and the metrics of Global City Index. So the second institute that I'll be sharing to you with is the GAWC City Classification. So this is the globalization and world city classification. So this institute is different from GCI because GCI use a ranking system. GAWC use a categorical system. They have sorted categories of alpha worldwide, beta world cities, gamma world cities, and high sufficiency and sufficiency presence. So the next slide you will see those categories. So in the alpha category, which is alpha level cities are linked to major economic states and regions and into the world economy and are classified into 4 sections: alpha plus plus, alpha plus, and alpha and alpha minus cities. So these are the link to major economic. So these are the major economy, but still more it's still more categorized. All of these, as you can see in the presentation, all of these belongs to the alpha cities, but there are subcategories of this, which is the alpha plus plus, alpha, and the alpha minus. All of these cities contributes to a major economic states. So in the alpha plus plus, which are cities most integrated with global economy. So the key word here is the most integrated. So it's London and New York, which is we can reflect to the GCI, which the number 1 ranking is New York, followed by London. Then the alpha plus cities are highly integrated cities filling advanced service needs. So it's their contribution is below the most integrated, but still they have an highly integrated cities. So the cities here is Beijing, Dubai. It's very if we only hear the word Dubai, we can already imagine the good infrastructure, the wealth we can see in Dubai. It's very imaginable just in the word, just hearing the word Dubai. Hong Kong, also Hong Kong, Paris, Shanghai, Singapore, and Tokyo. So just hearing the word of these cities, these countries, we can already imagine, because these are famous, these are very these are the most talked cities also all over the world. The next is in the alpha category. So we have Amsterdam, Brussels, Chicago, Frankfurt, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Los Angeles, Madrid, Mexico City, and so on. In alpha minus, it's the least, it could be the least integrated cities in the category of alpha. We have Bangkok, Bangalore, Boston, Buenos Aires, Dublin, Guangzhou, Istanbul, Johannesburg, Lisbon, Luxembourg City, Manila. So Manila is part of the alpha minus. So at least we are in the alpha category. So Melbourne, Montreal, Munich, New Delhi, Prague, and San Francisco, and so on. In the next category, beta. So beta level cities are cities that link moderate. So alpha has a major economic states. Beta has a moderate economic regions to the world economy and are classified in the sections beta plus, beta, and beta minus cities. So it's the same category, but it belongs, these countries or cities belong to the beta classification. So in the beta plus, we have Atlanta, Auckland, Barcelona. We have here Miami, Rome, Dusseldorf, Cairo, Copenhagen, and etc. In the beta category, we have Abu Dhabi, Athens, Cape Town, Denver. We have here Oslo, Panama City, Seattle. So they belong to the beta category, beta section of the beta category. And beta minus, so we have here Austin, Almaty, we have here Geneva, Jeddah, Jenan, San Diego, San Jose, San Salvador. We also have Tampa, Tunis, Nicosia, Kuwait. Kuwait is part of Beta Minus, and etc. So the next classification is in Gamma. So Gamma level cities are cities that link smaller economic regions. So Alpha have the highest economic state. Beta has moderate. Gamma has a smaller economic regions, which are classified in three sections: Gamma plus, Gamma minus cities. So in the Gamma plus, we have the most noticeable city. We have Orlando. We have Orlando, San Jose, St. Louis, Baco. We have Baltimore, Hefe, Islamabad, and etc. In the Gamma section, we have Bristol, Colombo, La Paz, Managua, Santo Domingo, Wellington, Dakar, Durban, etc. In the Gamma minus, we have Kansas City, Salt Lake City, Sacramento, Cleveland. So Cleveland belongs to Gamma minus. Malaga, Penang, Harare, Harbin. We also have Edmonton in Canada, Taiwan in China, Maputo, and etc. So the fourth category or classification is belongs to sufficiency, and it has a category of high sufficiency and sufficiency cities. So in high sufficiency, we have cities such as Brasilia, Leeds, Puebla, Ningbo, Macau belongs to high sufficiency. I can't imagine why Macau is in high sufficiency, because Macau is also a popular city, but we don't know because there are various metrics in this. So that's why what I'm telling you, there are different metrics, criterions, and if it should be balanced, you must be good at all metrics to be part of a higher category in the global city. So we also have Port of Spain. We have Yerevan, Ulaanbaatar, Johor Bahru, Indianapolis, so and etc. In sufficiency level, we have Omaha, Suva, and Kobe, Kochi, Kyoto. We have also Graz, Aarhus, Basel, Bergen, Bern, Linz, and so on. So there are many in the globalization and world cities. They have categorized these world cities based upon alpha level, beta level. We have gamma level, and in this efficiency level. So this is a more classified. They have a wide range of criterions, and it's a wide range of classification. It's different from the GWI, the GCI Global Cities Index. It's very different because GCI use a ranking classification, and this in the GDAWC they use a category. So but still the leading the noticeable leading cities here is London, New York, Tokyo, the Beijing, and also Paris. So that's the most noticeable global cities in the world. So that would be all for my part, as I'm giving examples of these global cities. Thank you for listening.